Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. This is the FasterFreedom Show. I'm your host, Lucas Walls, here with co-host Matt, but a different Matt this time, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Matt Lauman. Matt Lauman runs our flipping operation here, FasterHouse. He runs that entire company and has built up a pretty substantial real estate business and portfolio of himself, of his personal investments, and we'll be digging into that a lot today. Welcome, Matt. Are you excited about this, man?
I'm excited, yeah. Thanks so much for having me. Hope Sam's enjoying his time off.
Yeah, so Sam's still on the beach. I guess a different beach, though. Was in Mexico. Now he's in Florida. He's actually at a mastermind. So learning how to bring more value to you guys. But super pumped about this episode. The majority of it will be on Matt's story and a couple of deals that he's done recently. But we'll also talk about how to go full-time as a real estate investor. So we're going to get it kicked off by talking about Freedom Fest real quick. Okay, so Freedom Fest is an in-person event that us at FasterFreedom are hosting for anybody, not just our community. We have about 1,600 students nationwide that we coach virtually on a weekly basis. But this is an in-person event, so anybody that wants to attend, our students or not our students, can come to our office, and we're going to have hopefully a couple hundred people there, and we're going to be 2 full days of digging into how to create that financial freedom for yourself and your family and what that looks like for your business. So super pumped about this event.
Real estate investing.
Heck yeah. Would you consider that picture of you a good hair day or a bad hair day, you think?
It's every day. That's a great hair day right there.
Yeah, we call
good
him
flow.
Helmet Head.
Maybe a little too much product on that day.
Yeah, got that Lego hair. Looks good, man. Looks good.
Thanks.
Well, first, let's get into Matt's story real quick here. Matt was at a $500 million company and then made the jump to come on board at FasterHouse and invest in his future and dig into real estate. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about your story and how you were able to make that transition?
Sure. Yeah, I've been with FasterHouse and the community since 2021. But before that, I was a part of the liquor industry. So senior in college, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. Went to a career fair in Columbia, and I stumbled across this booth of a table full of booze. It was just about 200 bottles of liquor.
You were hooked at that
on
point.
the table, and this company was sign was up. So definitely had me hooked. What 22-year-old wouldn't be excited about selling booze? So I was able to interview and work with them right out of college. Started at the age of 22. And worked my way up. I was field sales, calling on bars, restaurants, nightclubs.
I remember underage at a bar with a fake ID, and you're in the corner of that bar just slinging samples and tchotchkes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Remember that bar?
Yeah, but you were 21, right?
Oh yeah, I was 21. Yeah.
So sure, we did. We had a lot of fun. Great organization, great company, and really just did the corporate ladder thing. Collected my merit increase, submitted for promotions, got into management, then a little bit into a director role, sort of a leadership role, overseeing $100 million portfolio, several team members reporting with me, and I was there for 15 years, and ultimately just kind of sat back and looked at my life. I was 37, 38 at the time, and was wanting to see, do I want to do this the rest of my life? Yeah. And not that there's anything wrong with that. It was a great role, great company.
But you knew exactly what your life was going to look like.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
And it almost scared you a little bit.
Spot on.
Because you didn't love the end game.
Sure. And like I said, I'm not here to knock the corporate world, but really your script was almost written for me.
Yeah.
And obviously, I know you really well and saw how well the company was doing and the power of real estate. Read a few books. Obviously, Rich Dad, Poor Dad was impactful for me. So definitely got a later start. And at the age of 37, 38, made the jump full-time into real estate with FasterHouse. Before I came on full-time, I definitely got my taste of real estate, did some wholesale deals, started my first rental, and then now I've been a part of the company for just under 3 years.
Heck yeah, man. I started as a dispo manager, so selling all our wholesale deals, slinging them. Everybody knew about Matt in St. Louis area, and now you're running the entire organization. So
started on August of 21, and everybody who's been in real estate knows how incredible of a market that was, the amount of transactions that were happening. So being able to sell a couple hundred houses a year to local investors, I really enjoyed that.
Can we talk about your almost start date?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it was like February of 2020. And we had a good plan to come on board. It was actually in a different role than you initially came on board for. And then we decided to do it. Let's do this. We're going to make it work. And that kind of trickled into March. And then you had your like resignation letter typed up, ready to submit that day, maybe even, or at least that week.
For sure, that week, yeah.
And that was the day that, COVID started to become a real thing. And they, what did they do? They canceled the NCAA tournament or shut down NBA games. One of the two, and we're like, oh shit, this is real.
This was real. Yeah, I vividly remember I was with one of my closest mentors, and I let him know what I was doing, had the resignation letter typed up in an envelope, and I remember sitting at a local restaurant, and we were watching them cancel the MLB. Then they canceled the NCAA tournament, and definitely got a little cold feet with all the unknowns happening.
Yeah.
And went ahead and stayed with my organization, and really that was
that was a mutual decision too.
Mutual decision
like,
for
hey,
both.
we don't know what's coming. Like let's just stay put for now and see what happens.
Yeah. So then the next 18 months I spend in the basement of my house, working from home, trying to figure out Zoom calls. You know, is your mic on? Is your mic on? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
And so that time allowed me to really dive in a little bit more into educating myself in real estate. Got my real estate license as well. So I do think it was still a very impactful, important moment in my life that year.
For sure.
It was challenging.
Yeah, that's quite the jump to leave a 15-year career where you're making good money, high ranking, and then just like throw it all away for lack of a better term, and jump into real estate full time. What do you think was the deciding factor that allowed you to finally make that jump?
Yeah, I think ultimately it comes down to fulfillment. You want to be fulfilled in what you do daily and day in and day out, and you only have one life to live. And I really wanted to take back control and freedom of my life, and felt real estate could provide that, multiple streams of income, and ultimately I just wanted to give it a shot. I couldn't live with myself if I didn't take a risk.
Yeah.
I had everything so structured throughout my career, not much of a risk taker, and this was able to get outside my comfort zone and really see how I could flourish kind of on my own with a new organization.
Yeah. You talked about multiple streams of income. So what are those multiple streams for you right now? And then kind of what does your rental portfolio look like?
Sure. I'd say our rental portfolio currently, we have eight rentals.
Nice.
We've done about 7 or 8 flips so far in the few years.
Cash flow from your rentals.
Yeah, so we have rental portfolio, rental income, flip income, do some wholesaling.
Yep.
I have my traditional real estate license.
Nice. You use that ever?
To list my own flips, I do. And I've done a few deals with some friends.
Yeah.
Definitely not my passion
to
do traditional real estate. We'll leave that to the more professionals.
But it ties in nicely to the investment world.
Absolutely,
for sure.
yeah. It helps me save on realtor commissions. It also gives me the knowledge of local comps.
Yep.
Then we do also do some private lending. So that's helped produce some additional income too. So
Nice.
really we have 5 or 6 streams of revenue coming in from real estate.
Nice. Are you looking for any young and hungry real estate investors to lend to right now?
I am, yeah. We have a small amount. We are able to lend. We're hoping to grow that. That's ultimately, I think, our end game is to have a nice stable portfolio of single family rentals and do some lending to local investors, young investors, to give them a shot like a lot of folks gave me.
What does a nice stable portfolio of rentals look like to you?
Mine's simple, clear and concise. It's 25 single family homes.
Paid off
When
it's all said and done?
When it's all said and done. So we got a goal, 5 years, we'll have all 25.
So you have 8 now, and weren't you looking at like a 32 unit the other day?
I was.
So that would be way more than 25, right?
Right, but that would just get me over that number, and I could just get it off my plate.
Just start paying down and focusing on other stuff.
Yeah, 5 years of acquisitions, and we'll probably focus 15 years of debt pay down, and still get to do flips, do some lending.
Nice.
Live off that passive income.
I love it, man. Do we got that Maxwell story now, guys, or do we want to do that later? The Maxwell video. John Maxwell was one of Matt's, mentors that he doesn't know about, and talks about change in this little clip we're about to play for you guys, and how I was able to conquer that fear of going full-time real estate.
Now, when we begin to understand our responsibility to be catalysts for change, the first thing that we understand is the fact that there are a lot of people who don't want to change. As I think about change, the reason people don't like it is because it's uncomfortable. It takes us out of our rhythm and out of our way of doing things. And the reason you want to enjoy it is because you're seeing things that you've never seen before. You're going places you've never been before. You're experiencing things you never experienced before. And this is where the learning and the growing of life becomes. Everything that you want or need, it's outside of your comfort zone. That's why you don't have it. If it was in your comfort zone, you'd already have it.
Tell us about that John Maxwell clip and what that means to you, Matt.
Yeah, comfort zone, right? I mean, if you're too comfortable in what you're doing, there comes complacency, maybe boredom, and you're really never going to grow. I definitely had opportunities to grow, and I was provided that, but I was able to get outside my comfort zone and try something completely new, and every day is something new, a challenge, and it's only made me that much better.
Yeah.
And really the importance too is surrounding yourself with like-minded people or the right people that can support you and elevate you.
Yeah.
So that quote, that video really hit home for me, and I love listening to it every once in a while still.
Love it, love it. We got a couple people in the chat. Got Mr. Sam Prim himself saying, let's go in strong collar game, he's saying, for you today. So
Appreciate
very,
that.
as usual. We got Morgan out there talking about COVID. Crazy time for sure, no doubt. But appreciate you guys in the chat. If you're watching, if you're listening, please interact with us. We see every chat that comes through. So if you got a question, comment, anything, throw it in the chat, and hopefully we'll get to it and address it. All right, so that's kind of the opening rant of the show here. The rest of the show outline. So next 30 minutes, we're going to go into our REI school. And the topic for today is how to go full-time as a real estate investor. So I love that topic. And it's kind of a play on words because we're going to talk about ways to not go full-time and keep your job as well. So super cool there. We'll do a Q&A at the end of that, and all throughout it, throw your questions in there. Then we'll get in some current headlines. So crazy stuff going on in the world as usual, but more specifically in the hip hop world. Got
Right in my wheelhouse.
Mr. Sean, right in your wheelhouse. Mr. Sean Diddy Combs is out and about, and got a lot of interesting stuff going on there. So we'll get through some headlines. Go into Riddle Me This, where Matt tries to stump me with some hard riddles as usual. I struggle with those tremendously. So if you can help me out in the chat, that is very helpful as well. And then I'll try to stump Matt with some true and false. Then we'll get into our deal of the week, which is a recent flip that you guys did personally. So really looking forward to digging into that, and then we'll end it off with some motivation. So, Mr. Matt Lauman, you ready to get rocking and rolling?
I'm ready.
All right. So jumping into our REI school here, how to go full-time as a real estate investor. So I look at it as people generally fall into two buckets. Bucket number one, you're not looking to go full-time real estate because you like your job, you make decent money, and you have some sort of flexibility there. And bucket number two is if you don't like your job and love real estate, know that's where your passion is, and want to get into it full-time and make it a job. That's the cool thing about real estate. It could be a profession, but it could also be just treated as an investment as well. So I loved it so much that I wanted to make it a job, and same with you. But you don't have to do that. So let's start with bucket number one. You like your job, you make good money, you have some sort of flexibility with your work schedule, whether you can take long lunch breaks like I've done, or maybe you work from home and can jet out to a project, or maybe you only work 3 days a week as a nurse or a firefighter or something like that. So any combination of those, we're going to fall into this bucket. So if that is you like your job, you don't think real estate's your full-time gig, I would focus on building wealth or an earlier retirement than you initially had planned with rental properties. So rental properties could be single family, could be apartments, storage, vacation rentals, commercial retail, whatever type of asset that you can hold on to and continue and start to build that equity is where you should start if you don't need that active income that real estate can also provide. What do you think about that, Matt?
I think it's a great way to get in, especially someone who may be risk averse. You have support from your active income.
Yep.
If you're earning a significant amount of money, it's a great way to channel some of that income into an investment.
Yeah.
Protect yourself for some taxes as well. But ultimately, it's a great way. It's a great way.
Yeah, it's a great point. You said two things there that I really liked. I you're much more bankable with a W-2 job.
Absolutely.
Period. So to do the burst strategies or to hold long-term debt on any sort of rentals, having that W-2 job is going to be a lot easier to get a loan on a rental property.
I feel like now with how much banks have tightened up, and I don't know, not even almost a necessity, but there's still ways to still get loans, but very important piece of building a portfolio.
A banker would rather see an $80,000 W-2 than a $250,000 wholesaler fix and flipper.
Absolutely.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
And doing it on the side than being an expert at it and being full-time and doing it every day.
Right.
Yeah. And as a real estate investor, your tax returns are not going to be pretty usually. They're interesting. They're all over the place.
They're messy, yeah.
They are messy.
Good, but I just think when you have your active income coming in, you have a little bit more flexibility in acquiring rentals, and also there's a lot of expenses and fixes that come up.
Yep.
So just that reassurance knowing you have that W-2, that active income coming in to offset some of those costs, and kind of mitigate some of those fears that some folks have getting started.
No, I think I love it. I love it. And getting into the other point you talked about, there are also opportunities within real estate that don't involve owning rentals and having that being part of your retirement, but otherwise increase your active income. So say you make $90,000 now, if you made $150,000 that year because you supplemented with 2 or 3 flips or a few wholesales, like what could that do to your life?
Absolutely,
you know what I mean? That extra, 10 to 70 grand that you can make, you could dump that in to another investment vehicle and therefore increase or shorten your retirement date. Or maybe you have a good retirement date out there and you can supercharge your lifestyle. Like a $10,000 wholesale, take your whole family to
a great vacation.
Turks and Cake, right?
Yeah.
You just got back from there.
Just got back. You can go Turks and Caicos twice with 10K. So
well, the whole family?
For the whole family, it'd probably need 10,000. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's there's so many, just the flexibility that real estate investing provides. While having that W-2 as that sort of that safety net. So definitely increasing your active income.
Yep.
But more importantly, I think if someone has a W-2 or a good active income, I still recommend the rental portfolio route for the long-term wealth. You probably, if you have your active income in your W-2, you're contributing to a 401k or a Roth as well through your company. This is just really supercharging that long-term investment, and so you'll be able to have both cash flow from your rentals and be able to draw off your 401k when you're retired. So you're double dipping on your investing.
Or you can do a fix and flip and take that money and put it in a down payment on a rental. Like whatever it takes to acquire these rental properties and start building that equity, it's whatever it takes, because it is that powerful. And the more you're in real estate and the more rental properties you have, you can shield some of your other income with the tax benefits that real estate provides.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't there a metric? Every house is about $3,000 less in taxable income.
It's more than that. It's about $7,000.
$7,000, yeah. So
for a $200,000 house, give or take.
Buying 20, you got 20 rentals. There's $140K.
You're trumping it, paying no taxes.
It's just a great way.
Yeah, super cool. All right, so that's bucket number 1. If you like your job, focus on building wealth. That equity, the cash flow is not going to be substantial enough probably initially to increase your lifestyle. That's not what that cash flow is for. I would just continue keeping that to the side, rainy day fund, dumping it back into the properties to fix your properties up. And then there'll be a point in time where you can live off it and have no or much less debt and have that be a part of your retirement strategy. The next bucket, this is if you don't like your job, which I feel like is a substantial amount of people that I talk to. Yeah. What unfortunately is a lot of people. And you have a passion for real estate and real estate investing. So 2 options here under this bucket. Option number 1, get a full-time job in real estate to learn the industry. Get another W-2 job, but out of the industry, out of booze, out of medical, out of logistics, and transfer some of those skills to a W-2 job within the real estate industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this approach before diving
Yeah.
head first in because ultimately it connects you with the network, with a sphere of people that are doing it probably already. Also provides you some stable income, and it's going to allow you to gain that knowledge too while you're starting off your real estate investing journey.
Similar to what you did.
Very similar.
Similar to what I did as well. And similar to our good friend and mentor, Mr. Brian Schroeder. Same thing. He loved real estate. He was an engineer like I was an engineer, and he went to be an appraiser. So he could analyze properties very quickly. That's a skill that you learn in that role. I went to be a project manager, but other professions and roles that you can take on. Traditional real estate agent, you can learn a lot quickly there, especially if you're on the investment side of things. Property manager, if you're operation focused, customer service focused, you can learn a lot working for a quality property management company and better manage your rentals when you start to build that portfolio. Or on the sales side of things, you can go be a acquisition manager for one of your local wholesaling companies, and that's a fun role. We got a few of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way to, you really get a taste of all the above. If you're an acquisition manager, you learn how to analyze the deal. You understand the sales side of the acquisition and wholesaling process. A lot of our folks have real estate licenses, and to me, it really that is we call it supercharge. That's a supercharged way to dive into real estate investing is learning how to do a deal.
And it's the right company too.
Absolutely.
Obviously, it's that environment that we talked about. So you don't want to take a job just with any company because it's the right role. You want to make sure you're surrounded by those like-minded people that can elevate your investing career while your W-2 career continues to elevate as well. So I love that option. Specifically, I see it from our team, and I know the power of what our team can provide if you come and work for our company. I'm not sure it's like that everywhere. It's probably not, but just make sure you get on the right team.
Yeah, a lot of occupations, a lot of jobs you can get within the industry.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to do your research, see what best fits your skill set too. It's important to make sure you understand what you're good at and what fits your style and your life, and then go find something that meets your needs.
All right, so we're talking about how to go full-time as a real estate investor. Talked about not going full-time and to focus on rentals. We talked about getting a W-2 job within the real estate industry. But this next option, Matt, is, I don't know, it's kind of my favorite, even though I didn't take this exact route. But I love people and respect people that do make the jump, all right? So this person is trying to figure out a way to replace their current income with real estate investing. So what is the best way to do that? First, I'm going to start with the foundation. That's just who I am. Know where you're heading, figure it out, and put a game plan in place to get there. And it sounds simple, but a lot of people don't have this. It's build a budget, period.
Do people not build budgets?
People don't build budgets.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a budget nerd when I was making $44,000 a year my first job.
Do you have a budget now?
I do have a budget. I don't track everything like I used to, but everything going out, I used to track it to the T, categorize it, what categories this in, and it really helped me understand what I needed to live and what I had left over, and that's the point of this.
Yeah, we call that burn rate in our house. What's our burn rate every month?
Like a startup.
Yeah.
What is your burn rate? No, I'm just joking. So what are your monthly expenses? And how much you need to survive every month. And from there...
do you need Starbucks every day to survive?
Well, so we have two different budgets in our house. It's the emergency budget, which is no Starbucks.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, here's a comfortable living budget.
Sure.
And that comfortable living budget is probably like your financial freedom number, give or take. But that emergency budget is, if you're looking to make the shift quick, is what you can live off of. That's the one I would go off of, for sure.
I agree. And be prepared mentally that your lifestyle may change a little bit if you need to compress down to your survival budget.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, we'll get into more budget and building reserves here in a minute. But, all right, in order to replace your active income, so couple different options here. Wholesaling. We do a lot of wholesaling. We wholesale a couple hundred houses a year, you would say. Mm-hmm. And if you are a sales and marketing personality, I think wholesaling is a great option for you. If you're a wholesaler, you love finding the deal. That's marketing. Whether you're out there networking with people, trying to buy houses from them, or you're actually paying for advertisement in the form of direct mail or Facebook ads or something like that. And then on the sales side of that, negotiating with sellers, because you'll have to go in a house, figure out what you can pay for the house to make money and to wholesale it to somebody, and then get the seller to be comfortable with that price and sign a contract with you.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody can wholesale. It has to be the right personality, and you have to be confident in your ability. You have to be likable. People buy from people, right? That's marketing 101. But wholesaling, to me, it's a, I don't want to call it risk free, but it's definitely the least barrier of entry to get into building some active income within real estate. But it does require someone that's going to put a lot of effort, because you're going to get 100 leads. 100 of those, 10 are going to be worth anything. And then of those 10, luckily, hopefully you're going to close one of those 10. So 100 is going to get you a buy. 100 gross leads will get you a buy. Are you willing to put that effort to find that one deal?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, for sure. And if you like that, are you willing to put in it? Is that your passion and skill set?
But it's also probably the quickest way too to start actively. I mean, you can turn a 10K wholesale in 30
weeks.
days.
Yeah.
So
That's a great point. All right, fix and flips. This is more for the operationally focused personality. Maybe have some sort of construction background or finance background as well, I think would help with this. Not as quick as what you can see on the wholesale side of things. You gotta find the deal, you gotta rehab it, and then sell it. So probably more of a 6-month time frame, give or take.
Absolutely, yeah. And then you got to be prepared too to have some financing lined up to acquire that property as well. So if you don't have that W-2, or you're not prepared with maybe some private money or any type of loan from someone, be prepared that you're going to have to acquire that. So your leverage is going to be a little bit higher, definitely more probably rewarding on the back end. And it is a lot of fun fixing and flipping, but absolutely need to be operationally dialed in, super organized, because as we know firsthand very much, a rehab can go wrong quick from a timeline and a budget perspective.
Oh, yes, it can. Yes, it can. You know firsthand on that, Matt.
Absolutely.
So with the fix and flips, unlike the wholesaling, where you spend the majority of your time finding that deal and negotiating, you're gonna when you're fix and flipping, maybe you'll find a direct-to-seller deal, but majority of your time you're going to be buying from wholesalers or real estate agents, or find something on the MLS. So that'll be part of your time, is finding that right deal, but the majority of your time will be focused on lining up the financing, managing that project in order to squeeze every dollar out of that deal.
Yeah, you're still going to need some sort of relationship building ability. But I feel folks that want to just get into fix and flips, establish those relationships with those local wholesalers and agents, because if that's not your wheelhouse to go out and find the deal, let those folks find the deal for you. You establish that rapport with them and acquire that property that way, and then go do your thing on the operational side and pick out your light fixtures and granite countertops and white shaker cabinets.
I also think the fix and flip side of things, you have to have some ability to lead and manage a team. Whereas wholesaling, you could probably do that by yourself.
Solopreneur.
Solopreneur type, limited relationships. With fix and flipping, you got to build relationships with people that are bringing you those deals. You have to build relationships with your contractors, with your financing. So you're really leading a team of some sort and managing that project from every aspect of it to see it all come together.
Yeah, you have to have operations, finance, accounting.
Yeah.
You have to do it all.
You have to do it all.
You're essentially your own business owner for each flip.
Yep, absolutely.
So be ready for that.
So we were talking about, wholesaling and fix and flipping as a way to go full time. When you're first starting and looking to go full time, all of this probably needs to be done on the side, unless you have a substantial amount of reserves already. So this is, lunch hours, before work, after work, weekends type of work. And it is a lot of work, but it doesn't, if it truly is your passion, like this bucket is talking about, then it doesn't feel like the work that it really is. So you need to prove that model while you still have your full-time job. and do as many as it takes. Just go ahead.
On that note, proving your model, not only proving the model financially or operationally, but proving the model for yourself.
Yes.
Right? That confidence going from 0 to 1 is so important.
Yeah.
And being able to do that kind of on the side as a side hustle is to me important, because if it maybe doesn't work out and it might not be best for you, then you can resort back to what you used to be doing. But proving for yourself, gaining that confidence. Confidence is such a huge part of real estate investing. So I love proving it on as a side hustle. Prove the model.
Love it. And then going back to the financing of it and your budget. So building up a reserve account or emergency account, whatever you call it. So you have your monthly expenses right now. You know what that number is. Let's say it's $5,000 a month, right? That'd be great if I could live off $5,000 a month. Not possible anymore. Damn kids, right? But whatever that number is for you, I would recommend building up about a 6-month reserve of some sort and prove the model before you jump in full time.
Right. So $5,000 a month, you need $30,000 in the bank.
$30,000 and set that aside. That is not your checking account.
Don't touch it to buy a vanity.
No.
Or a refrigerator.
Yeah.
Keep that for a rainy day.
But if there is an emergency, use it. That's what it's there for.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for. So build that emergency fund up, prove the model, and then you can go ahead and make the leap after that, right, Matt?
Agreed. Yeah. That's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of folks we work with do too.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you can, proving the model, it helps you get efficient as well. So we talked about one fix and flip could take up to 6 months depending on how quick you are.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can start getting efficient with those and trim that down to 5 months, 4 months, 3 months is even possible.
Or 2 at a time.
And then at that point, you can start doing multiple projects at once and stacking them in phases. So you have your budget that you need to live off of, your monthly expenses, and then say it's $5,000 a month. That's what, $60,000 a year?
Mm-hmm.
How many flips does it take you to get to $60,000 a year, you think?
I'd say conservatively 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 to 3 flips, you could replace your income.
Right.
And we've seen people do $60,000 profit flips on one deal.
One, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the lure of the lucrativeness of this industry is definitely there.
Yeah.
But making sure that all the stuff that happens before that people don't talk a lot about, that you're really dialed in. Because yes, you can make 60, 70, 80 grand on a flip.
Yeah.
But you can also lose on a flip.
Yeah.
So making sure that your model's proven, but it's very, very doable. 2 or 3 flips a year for anyone, even as a side hustle sometimes, to replace that $60K a year, the example that we're using.
We did 12 one year as a side hustle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Both you and Sam did, yeah.
Yeah, not like super profitable on any of them. I think we netted like $10,000 a house.
Okay. It's 120 grand.
120 grand.
That's good living.
It is a good living. But this was at a point where I didn't think this was my path to full time.
Okay.
Because I thought that I was going to get full time by rentals. That was it. So we were adding so many rentals and then doing fix and flips to save up a down payment for an apartment building.
Mm-hmm.
That was our plan.
It worked out pretty good now looking back. But
right, but
I'm sure you had a lot of sleepless nights.
I did. I still do every once in a while. But, I think, I could have got there faster. It took me over 3 years to go full time, which is okay, right? But I think if you get this dialed in and do the way that we set it, you can get to it within a year, I think. I really do.
Yeah, that's why I think it's important to understand and assess your current situation.
Yeah.
Right? Are you the sole income provider for a family of 5?
Yeah.
Should you leave your W-2 tomorrow because you want to go do fix and flips?
No.
But if you're starting out right out of college or younger, you can live off less expenses.
Yep.
You have a lot more flexibility to go ahead and take that leap, and then yes, you can make significant income in this industry, and you can more importantly get income from multiple sources.
Yep. So you build that reserve fund. Let's say 30 grand. Let's use that example of $5,000 a month. That's your first flip, I think. Boom, reserve. You know what I mean? You don't have to funnel over $100 a month to build up a $30,000 reserve. I say use that reserve funds, build it up off your first investment property. So that takes you 6 months. Do you go full time at that point, Matt?
I think you could.
I think you could. I would probably do one more.
I would. I'd get a few under your belt,
Yeah.
both from like the operations side, but
Yeah.
also financially as well.
For sure. So then you do one more. Maybe it takes you only 5 months, and you're ready to go at that point. You got another 30 grand on top of your 30 grand, just as in your checking account, a little more flexibility, and then go get that next one under contract, and then
You start building rentals then, or what?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Like when fix and flipping or wholesaling is your full-time gig, it's hard to pass up a $30,000 check for $200 a month cash flow, $100 a month
Right,
cash flow.
right.
So it's not super sexy, but it's so important long term. So the quicker you're able to replace that active income that you used to have with fix and flips, and be okay for several months in the future going forward because you've built up some cash, I would start looking at picking off a rental. Maybe every other one, maybe 1 out of 3 deals you do, something like that. But just start.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of doing both. We're on our 3rd or 4th year of investing, and to me, 2 or 3 flips a year allows us the financials to go ahead and acquire 3 to 4 rentals a year. So
Yeah.
we're probably 1 or 2 rental projects at a time.
Yeah.
While doing a flip, knowing if we need to leave some money in a deal, or
Yeah.
something comes up on one of our previous rentals, that we have that finance or the financials from our flips, the income from our flips to support us. So
Oh, I love that.
I like both at the same time.
Yeah. So looking back, if I were to do this again, I would not have gone the wholesale route myself. I love wholesaling, but it's just not my exact skill set, I would say. I would have gone fix and flips.
Okay. Go over the skill sets again for a wholesaler.
Yeah, wholesalers, sales and marketing personality, loves, I do like finding the deal.
Analyzing the deal.
Analyzing
You
the
love
deal.
that.
I love that. And I like, and I like meeting with sellers, and we bought a lot of houses that way. But it wasn't through paid advertising, just through our network and real estate agents. And but I like building relationships with wholesalers and just letting them go hunt, and I'll take it down, line up the financing. I love that side of it, and then manage the project and squeeze out more than the wholesaler's making probably. But it just took a little more risk and a little more time to do it.
And you did it with a partner, right? You and Sam. So
Yep.
someone out there listening is thinking about going into wholesaling or fix and flips with a partner. Any tips for them?
That's a great point. I would just make sure you have your roles clearly defined. Sam is a sales and marketing type. I'm probably more the operations. But how we had it split up at the beginning was not good. What we did is Sam would run the flips, and I would run the rental projects. That's how we tried to start. And we knew pretty quick that wasn't going to work out. So with our personalities, we kind of shifted to Sam sales and marketing, find the deals, private lender relationships a little bit. We both were. And then I'll take it down, do our thing, and try to maximize the profit that way.
Yeah, I think that's important to understand your strengths, understand your partner's weaknesses, but clearly defining roles is so important. My wife and I, we make sure our first couple projects, we definitely crossed our paths too much.
Yeah.
And we lean on what her strengths are, which is the operations and the rehab side. And then I handle a lot of the acquisitions and finances.
Yeah, love that. I think you can go full-time with rentals too, but it's very hard to do it off of investment cash flow, I would say. One of the ways that you can go full-time with rentals, it's going to take some more time, but if you manage those properties yourself, you can pay yourself a property management fee.
Absolutely. Or
So-
some house hacking too, if you want to live in it and run out the other side.
Yeah.
Definitely another way to help offset some of your mortgage.
Man, I love house hacking.
Yeah.
I don't think it fit where I was at my point in life, getting married, starting a family. But if your spouse is on board and or kids, or maybe you don't have a significant other at the time, or maybe just a girlfriend or a boyfriend, man, house hacking's so powerful. Good financing. It kind of gets your toe in the door a little bit while not jumping full time. Or not jumping headfirst into a BRRRR strategy deal. I love that option.
Yeah, you can buy a duplex, 4-family, live in one unit, rent out the other 3. It's a lot of people have a lot of success doing that. You got to be prepared to have some roommates or floor mates, but
Floor
not for
mates.
me, for sure.
Yep. All right. So that is our plan of how you can get to become a full-time real estate investor. If you listen to that and got any questions, please throw them in the chat. Love to answer them. Definitely something I'm super passionate about, and just knowing that it's possible too. I think that's part of my struggle at the very beginning. I didn't think you could live off of fix and flips. I was like, no way. So just knowing that someone else has done it and that it's possible, to hopefully push someone over the edge to take that leap of faith and go do it.
Yeah, surround yourself with the right people too that have done it.
Yep. Love it. All right, we're going to get into current headlines, hip-hop theme. Then we're going to get into Riddle Me This after that. Then True or False, Deal of the Week, and Motivation. So, current headlines, my man. I don't know why I went Sports Center theme here, but our current headlines today are hip-hop focused. So, hopefully we got some rap fans out there. But even if you're not, you guys know who Puff Daddy is who he used to be called. And then he went to, what did he go to after that?
Is it just Diddy?
Yeah, there was something in between there. He's went through multiple changes of names, but now he's just Diddy, or Sean Diddy Combs. And he's been in the national news for a while. And he had not just one home raided by the feds in Miami, he had 2 homes raided, one in L.A. and one in Miami. So a source said the music mogul is subject of a federal investigation after allegations involving sex trafficking, sexual assault, illegal narcotics, and firearms.
That seems pretty serious.
Those 4 are just quite the combination.
It's not a parking ticket.
That is not a parking ticket. Diddy is, had his home raided, and he's just like in a bad spot, I would say. He just took off to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
I might too. I mean, you got to come back at some point maybe, but here's a video of him just kind of hanging out by the airport, getting ready to take off to the Bahamas. You guys tell me if he's doing okay. Oh, man. I feel bad for the guy.
He's
right
not
there.
thinking about if he's going to go snorkeling or scuba diving.
Or what SPF he's going to wear.
I mean, I get stressed a little bit on vacation for sure. Yeah, you
Yes.
got to pack the kids up, hop on a flight. He looks very stressed.
He's got a lot on his mind.
Yeah.
He's got a lot on his mind.
Yeah, he's got 5 allegations spanning 30 years. So I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a lot in his head right now.
Yeah, so a lot of this came up with his former romantic partner, Cassie, when she accused him of physically and sexually abusing her for years. So that's just a not a good allegation to have. But then all this other stuff tacked on top of that when it comes to sex trafficking. And I've just heard so many rumors and stories about, what has went on at these houses of his. And man, it's been a bad deal. Now, like, Usher's getting involved a little bit. Have you heard about that? Just like he kind of raised Usher in a way, and some allegations on what he did to Usher as they grew up. It's weird, man.
Yeah, it's not looking good. When you have that many allegations spanning that many years, and then I don't know. Instead of facing your problems head on, he hops on a plane and heads out of the country. It just doesn't, to me, give a good feel.
Maybe it was a pre-planned vacation.
I don't think Cassie was with
he's
him.
not going to stay there.
No, but I mean, somebody who's listening to this should probably send a postcard, see if that house is going to be for sale for a quick cash offer.
That'd be a good wholesale right there. Quite a hefty one. We were talking to our awesome producers, Shane and T. York, before this about, what type of evidence is needed for a full-on federal raid. And we don't really know the exact answer, but there's got to be something out there that they have that they feel pretty confident about.
Yeah, they're not going to have what I saw, armored vehicles.
Yeah.
Probably 50 to 75 SWAT team members storm a house. That's a significant investment for them to do that.
Yeah.
So they definitely have something, and unfortunately, it's not looking good.
And they knew it was going to be high profile. Like,
Absolutely.
This is going to be on the news somehow, some way. So we better be right. Otherwise, we're going to get crucified. So we'll see how this shapes out. Man, it's looking not good for Diddy at the moment, though.
Terrible situation, all these allegations, and it's just not a good look.
Not a good look. All right, moving into more recent hip-hop people. We're going to talk about J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and Future. So Drake and J. Cole have been on tour. I think J. Cole's part of that tour just ended, but they've been on tour together. They formed a friendship, and they call themselves J. Cole and Drake, two of the big three, and that other big person is Kendrick Lamar in that big three. Drake and J. Cole did a song called First Person Shooter, and there were some subtle shots that Kendrick felt that were took at him, and he came back with a recent verse of his own and took some not so subtle shots back at him, something along the lines of "F the big three, it's just me." So he doesn't want to be compared to those three. He thinks he's at the top. Kendrick's been kind of dormant for a while now, and he's been, I would say, accused of getting a little artsy instead of just like truly rapping. So his
lost
last
some street cred.
Street cred. Yeah, you could say that. Or a lot of people say Kendrick's the best artist, J. Cole's the best rapper, Drake's the biggest star. So I kind of like a little feuding in the hip hop game. Makes it fun to me.
Yeah, it creates a little entertainment for the fans, I guess. You kind of like a sports team. You're picking your side. What side hip hop artist are you on?
Yeah.
Me being a casual hip hop fan,
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar and Future don't know much at all about him. To me, I think Drake and J. Cole for sure are the bigger names.
Yeah.
You just went to a concert, right?
Yeah,
Recently?
Drake and J. Cole's concert. Yeah. And Mr. Andrew Bird said Matt is waiting for the OAR questions.
That's more my style for sure.
Yeah.
I can put on my cargo khaki shorts and just chill out, listen to some good OAR.
Yeah, good for you, man. Little maybe
Thanks,
a
Andrew.
camo hat. Yeah, you'd look good. But yeah, that's Kendrick and Drake and J. Cole right there. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully, it doesn't evolve into someone getting hurt like it has, in the past. Little Tupac Shakur situation, which again ties back to Diddy, because he has been accused in the past of setting up that hit.
Yeah. We talked about it before the show. The Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly feud that had. It's probably one of my favorite hip hop songs right now. Is "Kill Shot" from Eminem.
Yeah, that's a great one, man. A lot of layers to that one. All right, last headline for hip hop here. So Drake's on his tour. J. Cole was a big part of the first, I would say, I don't know how many stops, 20 stops, give or take. And now J. Cole kind of went off of that tour, and so Drake's bringing on guests. And one of his main guests that he brought on lately was Mr. Lil Wayne. And I saw Lil Wayne in concert as well. And what he's being accused of here, not even accused of, what happened here, I don't think happened at our concert. Was a little inebriated, so I don't remember exactly, but that's okay. But what people are saying is Lil Wayne used a teleprompter to remember some of his lyrics. What do you think about that, Matt?
Well, I recently saw an interview with him, and I could see how he would need a teleprompter.
Yeah.
He seems a little lost right now.
Yeah.
But from what I hear, he basically just creates his own music on his head. He doesn't write anything down. So I'm going to give him a little bit of credit here. I think if I was on stage with Drake, I'd probably use a teleprompter too.
Yeah. He was saying some supporters of Wayne said, cut the guy some slack. He's got 3,500 songs on Genius, with over 10,000 bars, which has, however many thousands of words. So he has so many songs. But my side of it, which songs you're going to sing at the concert. It's I don't know how many songs he did. 10? Could you practice a little bit before the tour?
Yeah, he needs some public speaking coaching, maybe a little preparation, a little practice. But
he's like, nah, I'm gonna wing it.
Yeah,
just give me that teleprompter.
He looks like he either has a lot going on in his head or nothing going on in his head right now.
It's like that Biden teleprompter. You gotta have it, live and die.
But
I'm
like
Ron
you
Burgundy?
said, he the video I watched, when he goes into a studio, he's not in there to make one or two songs.
Yeah.
He's writing 50 to 75 songs every studio episode.
Yeah, and he doesn't write anything down.
Right, so for him to remember it, like I said, I'm going to back Lil Wayne on the teleprompter.
All right. Well, those are our recent headlines. Hope you enjoyed them. Now we're going to get into Riddle Me This, where Matt tries to stump me. I say tries, but am not the best at these riddles, so I'm going to give it my best, Matt. Hopefully you can give me some hits as well. All right, try to stump me.
All right, you got it. So, first riddle. Your child can make me, and often does. Most adults
A mess.
feel like they can't. I am worth lots of money to the right person. Repeat?
Yes, please.
Your child can make me, and often does. Most adults feel like they can't. I am worth lots of money to the right person.
Any hints, Matt?
I would say this in relating
Is
to
it a
your
tangible thing? Can
yes,
you grab it?
Absolutely, yes.
Ooh.
And if pertaining to a child doing it, it could create quite a mess in your house.
Okay. Is it artwork?
Got it. Nice work. Nice work. Only 2 hints. That's not bad.
Let's go.
So here we go.
Is that Starry Night? No.
Did you do this?
No, that is a famous painting.
I know it is. Okay.
Is that Starry Night, guys? Yes. See, I know.
So is that too much of a hint?
That's Vincent van Gogh, I believe. Yes. No, I'll take it. I'm gonna mark that down as a win for me. So,
I'll take that as well.
Yeah. All right.
I think I had to do a whole college course, and we just talked about this for a whole semester.
Yeah, they had a Van Gogh exhibit too. Like I don't know if it's a pop up or something, but it was in town. It was like a lot of people went.
You a big art fan?
No,
Okay.
but it's beautiful.
So far, you're
art
good at
comes
riddles.
in many forms, Matt. Many
Yeah.
forms. Leadership's in art.
Okay.
Yeah. Music, hip hop. Do you want me to spit another rap for these freedom lovers out here? I will.
Teleprompter or no teleprompter?
No teleprompter.
Okay.
Actually, I did look at my notes, I think, on that one.
We're ready for number 2?
Yeah.
All right. A farmer will drive me in a group. I have 4 legs. What am I?
I don't know if I'm overthinking this. Am I overthinking it, or is it simple? Is it a sheep?
No, it's not a sheep.
Is it a cow?
There you go.
Okay.
Spot on. Cow. Yeah. Cattle.
Okay. Let's go. Let's go. 2 for 2. Because I
These
was
aren't
like,
very hard, I think.
well, Devin didn't get any. So. he's our tester.
2 for 2 and no hints on that one. It was just second guess.
All right.
All right, this
Last
one's
one.
a little bit longer, okay? So bear with me.
Okay.
I only go forwards and backwards.
To me, that's a train.
I often rely on my friend Phil.
Thomas a train.
He's a big plus.
Does he have a friend Phil?
I'll make your job easy, but together we might bore. To get a project done, it might take a little bit. What am I?
Thomas the train.
No, you are not close.
Okay. Hint then. I got that one wrong, but give me a hint.
I think there's a lot of little bits in here.
Yeah, there
I'm
better be.
gonna emphasize the word. I only
Okay.
go backwards and forwards.
Not
I
that word.
often rely on my friend Phil. He's a big plus. I'll make your job easy, but together we might bore. B-O-R-E. To get a project done, it might take a little bit. So you got Phil. He's a plus.
Drill?
Bingo.
Wow.
We're a great partnership.
We
here.
are. Nice. Phil.
Phillips.
Oh,
Phillips head screwdriver.
gosh.
He's a big plus.
Gotcha. Okay.
Very well written,
yeah,
Shane.
I didn't get that one. I'll 2 out of 3. Will you give me 2 out of 3?
I'll give you 2
yes.
out of 3 for
Let's
sure.
go. That is a winning number when it comes to riddles. All right. My turn to stump you. All right. True or false, Matt? Bees can fly up to 10,000 feet in the air.
Here's why I'm going to say false, and I think I might be wrong. But just with like the wind currents, I feel how can a bee survive up 10,000 feet in the air with the wind?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say false.
Yeah, the correct answer is true.
Wow. Yeah.
But I do kind of want to dig into this a little bit. So here's the feedback on the true. Bees can fly higher than Mount Everest, even with low air pressure. That's 29,000 foot above sea level.
Wow.
But is that 10,000 feet off the ground? You know what I mean? So sea level changes.
Sure.
Right? Is that 10,000 feet off the ground, or just because there's bees in that area, they can fly around 10 feet off the ground and be 29,000 feet?
And do we know who studied this? I'd love to know.
Well, a bee. Probably Shane.
Shane studied this?
Yeah, Shane is a bee expert. And don't get us talking about royal jelly, because it'll be awesome. All right. So you got it wrong regardless.
I did.
All right. 0 for 1. Number 2. It only takes 4 minutes for all the sheep on earth to make enough wool to make a sweater for the Statue of Liberty.
I'm going to say true. A lot of sheep in the world, right?
Yeah, this one was tricky. It's false because it's 4 minutes and 13 seconds.
Oh, come
That
on.
is, yeah. Dude, that was tricky. I feel bad.
Have you ever
Devin got that
taken
one right.
wool off of a sheep?
Have I?
Yeah.
I have not. Have
Oh.
you?
No, but I've seen some videos on it. It doesn't look very pleasant for the sheep.
You've
but-
watched videos of
Yeah, absolutely.
how does don't they just use
Like-
hair trimmers?
Yeah, like tie them up and
tie them up.
yeah, they hold their feet down and
Matt, you're watching the wrong videos, bro.
that was just on my feet, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so I'm 0 for 2.
You are 0 for 2.
I'm disappointing. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good, man. All right. Last one. A regular pencil has enough lead to draw a line across the Golden Gate Bridge almost 15 times.
I'm going to say true. I'm a light pencil user. You know, there's two different, you get your little kid that they'll just like
Yeah,
press
oh,
real
yeah.
hard and
You
it'll
break it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you really nice, light, elegant stroke of a
Yeah.
pencil, you could probably go back and forth 15 times.
You got that one right. It is true.
Perfect. Yeah.
How many times do you think you got to resharpen?
Right. You got to have a sharpener
Pretty
with
often.
you,
Like
for sure.
what, man, do you remember like in class back in the day and like going up to the sharpener by the door and just cranking on it?
I remember they used to have the ones that like adjusted sizes for the different size pencils. You know, you
Yes.
had the little skinny pencil, then you had the big thick pencils.
Is that even a thing these days, or is it all mechanical
I
pencils and
hope
tablets
it's all
and
mechanical
stuff like
yeah,
that?
I hope it's all mechanically done now.
Yeah. So no
We're
pencil
all
sharpeners?
mechanical pencils in our house, for
Yeah.
sure.
Number 2?
Number 2,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. The thicker ones, no
Mhm.
doubt. Lead poisoning. All right. Great job. Kind of 1 for 3. I'm 2 for 3. I beat you. All right.
That's fun.
That was a great segment. Even better segment coming up here, Deal of the Week. So this is a super cool project, one of Matt's latest personal flips, and he's going to take you through this deal, talk about how we got it, some challenges along the way, and what he did to this house to maximize profit. So, Matt, I'll pass it off to you. Get it kicked off,
Yeah.
my man.
Yeah, this was a condo, so our first ever condo project. A lot of learnings dealing with the condo association. We found this deal through an agent. Got it through FasterHouse through an agent. Purchased this property back in, I want to say October of last year. So a few of the nuances I want to talk about dealing with HOAs.
Oh, man.
There are a lot of headlines right now about HOAs and condo complexes.
So you're talking about HOAs in like a subdivision with single-family houses, or mainly HOAs with condos?
Yeah, sorry about that. I want to clear that up. Condo development HOAs. A lot of insurance issues happening with condos being underinsured. HOAs maybe not fully insuring their units. Some wiring code issues, things like that. But more importantly, just dealing with an HOA that likes peace, calm, and we come in here and we totally gut a second floor condo. So for me, it was important to understand, if you're going to do a condo deal, understand the bylaws. And read through all of that documentation, and also understand the financial solvency and viability of that HOA. You don't want to get a part of an HOA that has no reserves in its account, or they have a pending assessment, or which we've done some in the past, by a condo that's currently in litigation with its owner occupants. So.
Yeah, why don't you tell everybody about what's going on with that? Not this deal, but a condo we bought and the trouble we're having with the HOA.
Yeah, we bought a condo in a great area here in St. Louis, did a great rehab on it, and we get to go sell it, and an agent that's in our office, our broker actually, is listing a like unit, had a deal under contract, and a few days before closing, the lender calls for the buyer and said, unfortunately, we can't write a loan on this because the condo development is underinsured. This condo development was appraised at $21.5 million. The HOA signed an insurance policy for $2.5 million. So it is
about 10% of what it needs to be.
It is $19 million underinsured.
Wow.
So currently, no lender will write a loan on any units in this
Wow.
condo development. Not saying that's definitely not a regular thing. This is definitely a one-off. So make sure you read through your bylaws and read through the financials of of that condo.
Okay. Yeah. In order for us to sell it, it has to be to a cash buyer at the
Cash
moment.
buyer only
Yeah.
at the moment.
So
yeah,
kind of a
and
bummer.
it's kind of a he said, she said. So the HOA is blaming the insurance company.
Yeah.
Insurance company is blaming the HOA. So it's just it's a mess right now.
Yeah.
We're currently stuck with a house, a fully renovated condo in a great area that we can't sell because
Yeah.
not a lot of cash buyers at that price point right now.
Yep.
So
So maybe a little, I don't know if we would have found that in due diligence, but it's tricky. And let's talk about some of the things you did right with this HOA as you went under contract with it.
yeah. So I think important for me, review the documents and then introduce yourselves to the HOA. Most people that get involved or run or are on an HOA board probably don't have a lot of time, or no, they have a lot of time on their hands and they really love being a part of that HOA. So what we do every time we buy a home, whether it's a single family or a condo, but I called every one of the board members on the HOA, introduced myself, my wife, hey, we bought this unit. A lot of times they'll give you a little backstory on the unit too, and then let them know what we're going to do and how we're going to improve that unit for the building. So we went ahead and did that. And then some of the operational challenges we came across dealing with an HOA. Second floor unit, 40 units in this building. You can't just dump all your demo debris in the garage and wait, or in the dumpster that you have sitting in the driveway of a single family home. Our team love our crews. They're incredible. They were literally throwing demo debris off the second floor balcony.
Is that allowed? That doesn't sound like that's
It's
allowed.
definitely not allowed. Into a dump trailer in the parking lot. So
man.
demo day was absolutely nuts over there. Definitely had a few knock on the doors from some neighbors, but we worked through that on that day.
I can see you guys just like tying up like old cabinets and like just hoisting it down, like hand over hand.
Yeah, no
And then
hoisting, just throw them. It's
just
way more
throw
fun
it,
to throw
all
them.
right.
Yeah. So once again, the second floor, you can only get in and out of this building and up to the second floor through an elevator. The elevator is not built for big vanities or appliances. So a lot of challenges making sure you're prepared operationally to get materials in and out. Also keeping the neighbors happy. This was a little bit of an older type community home, condo development, and a lot of them were retired, and they get upset when there's music being played by the crew or there's loud noises and banging and hammers and debris all over the common area from our crews. So we had to buy like sticky mats to make sure our crews were cleaning their feet in and out of the condo unit. So we went ahead and bought some gift cards for some of our neighboring units. And then after demo day, I know we have some before pics here, we had a leak. Unfortunately, when we ripped out the kitchen cabinets, the kitchen line for the sink was dripping. And so we got a note on our door that said, hey, your condo is leaking into my unit below. So we had to go downstairs, introduce ourselves to this gentleman, and you can look up in the ceiling, and it is just a brown stained mess from our unit that was leaking over the weekend. So you don't have to really deal with that in a single family home.
Yeah. But it could also get more you're only on the second floor here.
Right.
Imagine doing this on the 8th floor, 15th floor. In a more urban setting in a city, a lot of times if you want to fix and flip, condos are your only option.
Absolutely. Yeah. So definitely there's a lot of positives too with the condo. We didn't have to mess with any exterior, no roofing, no windows. Didn't have to mess with the deck, but just make sure you're prepared with some of the operational challenges you're going to deal with in a condo, and we definitely learned a lot. Another one was plumbing. We had to pull a plumbing permit and do some rough-end plumbing work. Well, to do the rough-end plumbing work, we had to shut our water off. Not only do we have to shut our water off, we had to shut the whole building's water off. So we have 39 neighbors that we had to write a letter to say from this time on this date you weren't going to have any water.
My goodness.
Definitely a challenge there. So and then lastly is the fees. A lot of fees dealt with or dealing with a condo. Our HOA in this area was about $500 a month, and they passed an assessment during our ownership, and it jumped up to $730 a month. So making sure you're incorporating with your holding costs the HOA fees.
Yeah, and that's a huge part of whoever's going to buy this on the back end. So making sure that those fees are, does this place have a pool?
Yes, it has pool. Like there's some value with those fees, sure.
Good.
When you go on the back end try to sell it, we know how interest rates are. The mortgage is already going to be a pretty penny. Then you got to throw in an extra $700 for the HOA. They want to make sure that they're getting some value in that. So really clearly in our listing, laying out, 3 of the utilities were included. You get a gym, you get gated access, you get a pool. So making sure you outline
All
those.
exterior maintenance.
All the exterior maintenance is covered.
Yeah, that's good. Cool.
Yeah. Then lastly, this was just the condition of this home was our first really rehab we did with a heavy smoker.
Yeah.
So a lot of folks can kill the smoke, kills ozone treatment, but smoke creates a lot of staining, and beautiful new vinyl windows were yellow. So ultimately, it was probably one of our messiest and dirtiest condos we purchased, but we were able to turn off an awesome product in a quick amount of time.
Very cool. You want to get through some before and after here?
Yeah, we can go ahead and.
How did you how did you finance this deal, first of all, Matt?
Yeah, I financed this through a private lender.
Private lender?
Mm-hmm.
Purchase price and rehab?
Just purchase price.
Okay.
And then we self-funded rehab.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, previously, we pull a line of credit from our personal house,
Yeah.
which is a little bit better interest rate, about 8.5. So we'll pull some money off that line for rehab funds.
Yeah.
But with my private lender, I stick to just purchase price only,
Yeah.
and then find other source for the rehab.
Yeah, I like that. Cameron has a question, just thoughts on a FHA 203K, which is a construction loan. You know much about that?
I haven't done one, but I do. We work with a lot in our wholesaling company upstairs, and they're great products. I think you can. I know a couple national lenders that's their bread and butter product. Differences with that, I'm sure you'll need an appraisal done with that, and it just takes a little bit longer time to get through the underwriting for that versus a private lender. So just make sure you have enough time in your due diligence period before you close to go ahead and make sure that they can underwrite and provide that funding.
Yeah, we looked at it at the very beginning to see if it'd be a good option for us to fund our projects. Definitely some rules involved in it for sure. A lot of it on the rehab side of things, and making sure you got your budget dialed in, and they're not going to pay a penny over your budget and all that stuff. So we went a little different route just because all the red tape that you have to get through, but definitely a good option.
Did you use a disbursement company with that one as well?
We didn't end up doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, we found private lenders and hard money lenders and kind of went that route.
But to answer Cam's question, we do a lot of deals with folks that have 203K loans, and it's definitely a great product. Just make sure you read through all the requirements and, like Lucas said, the red tape.
Yep, for sure. So what are we looking at here, man?
Yeah, it's a little alley kitchen. It was pretty messy. So everything was original. Gentleman lived here for 25 plus years.
Check out those pill bottles. I noticed pill bottles and Cheerios. That's what they liked.
Yeah, yeah,
Popping
definitely.
Pills and
We definitely
cereal.
knew we were going to have to totally gut this place.
What? You didn't paint those cabinets?
Yeah, put some new hardware, paint the cabinets. So we went ahead and gutted the kitchen. And if you can see back in the back on that last photo, there's a little banquette area that really created like a real tight space for the dining area. So we blew out that banquette and opened that up, probably gained an extra, 30 feet of square footage.
Nice.
And then after that, the one challenging thing is that recessed light there. There's really nothing we can do with that. We like to blow out the soffits most of the times when we rehab, but there was ductwork, and ultimately it was ductwork for the condo building. So that's one thing to make sure you're cognizant of, that you're not moving walls or messing with electrical without a licensed electrician or someone who knows working with condo buildings.
Yeah. Let's see the after pictures here and what you guys did. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, pretty straightforward for a rehab for us. Loves quartz countertops, soft close cabinets, new hardware, new appliances. Every house has a different backsplash. My wife likes to throw in. Updated the light fixtures, so really brought a nice, clean, modern look to it. But also, we wanted to keep some of the classic finishes, like the color of the flooring, because we knew what our buyer. That's a good tip when you for me is when you rehab a house, just imagine who your end buyer is going to be, and sort of tailor your rehab to that market, to that end buyer. So we thought our buyer would be someone 55 plus in this area. So we wanted to make sure there's some traditional, don't get too modern and too eclectic.
Love it. Go back one more, Tyler, there, sorry. So that recessed lighting, that's where that kind of like new light was, so you took that completely
we were able
out.
to take that out. Unfortunately, we couldn't move the soffits, but we were able to open that, give it a little bit more of an elevated or open feel to that kitchen, because there's really nowhere we could go with that footprint of the kitchen with it being in the condo.
Love it. All right, let's get to our next before picture. vacuum cleaners.
A lot of stuff. Popcorn ceilings. What you can't tell is the smell.
You can't smell this picture.
No, a lot of Marlboro Reds. And everything was stained yellow. So, and that is all wallpaper that you also can't tell as well.
So what do you have to do if someone like smoked in there? Can you just go paint it right on top of it?
Yeah, I would spend the extra time and money to make sure that you get everything out, make sure you pull up the carpets, but also have your contractor or painter use kills. And then we also did an ozone treatment through the ductwork to make sure that smell is gone, because it'll raise its ugly head down the road for sure if you don't mitigate it and remediate it up front.
That's the worst thing in the world, to have a brand new rehab place and it still smell like smoke.
Yeah.
So
so a lot of stuff too. We have.
Are these the things that you've thrown off the balcony?
Some of those for sure, yes. At first when we were started our project, we're like, oh man, what can we keep? But then you look through it and it's most of it's in rough shape. So had to do a pretty extensive junk haul and demo, and popcorn ceilings had to go.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of prep work getting ready for what I call the pretty cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's see the after picture. Woo.
Yeah, so really we had a lot of good natural, a ton of windows off the back of the condo, so pulled off all the window features and shades, all new flooring, cleaned up, smoked out the fireplace, brightened that up, obviously great staging. And then we dropped in some can lighting. It was a very dark, it was all, there was no overhead lighting, it was all like lamp lighting. So that's one thing that was new to us. Since it was a condo, it had to be a certain type of wiring because you didn't have the attic space to work with. So that definitely took a little bit extra time working with that electrician to make sure it was up to code, and we can still run some recessed can lighting.
I love that you're able to squeeze that in.
So that's the living room. Then we had our master primary bedroom here. Had a big
Roku
walk-in
TV,
closet.
baby. Roku.
So we went ahead and real similar to the other. Dropped in some overhead lighting on the after photo. That flooring should run up into the bedroom. Added new carpet. I go back 50-50 on if we run the vinyl plank through the bedrooms versus adding carpet.
Yeah,
and
I never know the right answer to that.
I don't either,
because it's probably 50-50 on what people like. Do they want vinyl plank with a rug? Do they want that soft feel on their feet when they get out of bed in the morning? Like, I get it.
I know. Personally, I like vinyl here. Going back to your HOAs and knowing your indentures and it was required that bedrooms had to be carpeted for noise. So they made our decision for us.
Gotcha.
But we don't always put carpet in our bedrooms. But here we had to put carpet due to the HOA. But it ended up turning great. Overhead.
What is nice about this house is that staging. What do you think about staging on your flips?
I'm a huge proponent of staging. To me, the marketing of a property, you're going to spend months and tens of thousands of dollars renovating a property. Why not spend the extra couple thousand to stage it and market that property the right way? It's you're gonna see the ROI for sure.
Yeah.
Huge proponent of staging. When a buyer walks in, they want to be able to visualize how they can live in that home, how their family can live in that home. So make sure you vet your stagers and work with them on how we think the house should flow, and I'm a huge proponent of it.
Yeah, I think on the staging side of things, I love that aspect of it, but also like houses aren't perfect. And to me, if it's a blank canvas, the buyer's eyes are just drawn to those imperfections a lot easier. And with the staging, it kind of helps them not see every minor detail that might be wrong with the house.
Yeah, real good point.
Cool. So those are some before and afters. Are you ready to get into some numbers?
The numbers. Yeah. Everyone wants the numbers. Yeah.
All right, let's do it, man.
Yeah. So we purchased this home, like I said, from a private lender. For $172,500. I'm sorry, with a private lender for $172,500.
Bought it through an agent, right?
Through an agent. Yep. And then we put $52,000 into it. Some of our holding costs, insurance, utilities, taxes, and then that's our hard money. We call it private money interest on that. I usually budget for 5 to 6 months, knowing that hopefully we can get it done in 3 to 4.
Yeah.
But just from a number standpoint, make sure you. Over budget or protect yourself with a little bit of holding cost just in case something comes up, permitting, drawing, something like that, inspections.
Yeah. So if you're getting hard money for the purchase price or anything purchase price only, including those holding costs in the amount of money that you're raising for the rehab costs is super important, so you can make those monthly payments.
Yes.
And not have to dip into your personal
come out of
cash.
pocket.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, great point. Threw in those condos fees. Like I said, we'd spend over $2,000, right around $2,000 on condo fees. We locked it up under contract for $290,000 on day one. We had multiple offers.
So what do you list it for?
We listed it for $279,900.
Yeah.
Got two offers at $10K over ask.
A lot of showings, or
A lot of probably 15 to 20 showings.
first weekend?
First weekend, but I'm a big fan. I don't run it through the whole weekend. I like if there's a solid offer, like the terms, we'll go ahead and lock it up before getting through the weekend. So we locked it up. Everything was great. Loved the agent was great to work with. Come about 5 days later, I noticed that the buyer still hadn't turned in earnest money. So shot a note to the agent, hey, what's going on here? She goes, I don't know. My buyer has ghosted me.
Oh, no.
So we lost that contract. While I was going through those negotiations or having issues, we came out of contract. I was able to call the previous or the other offer, and we ended up locking it up and close it out at $290,000.
$290,000. So can we go back to that gross profit one more time? So what does that look like, getting locked up at $290,000 and getting that thing to the closing table, and what did you walk away with?
Yeah, so we locked it up after paying commissions. I self-list. Like I said, I am a licensed agent.
So save your money there. Do you pay yourself as an agent when you list?
I don't. I've gone
just
back
keep it
and
in the
forth.
deal?
I keep it in the deal. So we were able to walk away with just over $45,000 in about 3 months turnaround time from when we purchased it to when we put it on the market to when we closed it out on the MLS. So a 19% return on our money.
Yeah. So tell us about that 19% ROI, return on investment, and kind of what metric you look for when you're looking to do a flip.
Sure. I like to look at a little bit of both, but to me the ROI number is important to stay for me in the 15%, 10 to 15% for sure as a baseline, and then anything above that is gravy. You can look at just the net number, but if you're doing $1 million listing and you make $80,000, you're only making 8% return on your money. That's what I like to look at both the lump sum, but the ROI percent.
Yeah. So just for simplicity terms and an example, like if you're into a house, purchase and rehab for $200,000, minimum return we want to see on that is $20,000. $300,000, $30,000, $400,000, and so on and so forth. So you smoked that and got a 19% ROI here, which is fantastic.
Yeah. We were very happy. Great project all around, and definitely some key learnings with the condos.
Yeah.
Would I do another condo again? I don't know.
You seem pretty good at it.
Yeah,
chumming it up with the board members.
Yeah, I make it look easy, but definitely a lot of challenges in between that purchase and that sale date.
Was it worth $45,000 worth of challenges?
Yes.
Yeah. I love that, man.
Let's do about 5 of those a year.
Yeah. How many of those do you need to go full time? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Very cool, man. Good work on that. Awesome place. It's going to be a great home for somebody for a long, long time. So that's our deal of the week. What was your favorite part of the show so far, Matt? You think? Was it Diddy?
I kind of like the current events.
Yeah. There's some wild stuff going on.
Yeah.
A
lot of stuff happening in the world right now.
I loved your deal of the week, but I also like, transitioning to full-time real estate and just a path for people to do that. So passionate about that. And what's cool about that is it's so unique and different, a different plan for every person. It doesn't have to be exactly like someone else did. So come up with a plan that works for you and go execute and stay focused.
Yeah, I like saying invest to fit your lifestyle, that, and real estate provides that. If you're a busy family, make sure that you invest to fit your busy family lifestyle. So that's the beauty of real estate.
All right, before we get out of here for today, we're going to talk about our motivational quote and what it means to us. So this is a quote by Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger. The chopper, get to the chopper, get down. That's him. That was pretty good, right?
Yeah. He was just had a Super Bowl commercial.
Where's he from? Austria? I think he's from Austria.
Sounds like a good question.
Good question. True or false? So his motivational quote that he has said in the past is, you can have results or excuses, not both. Tell us about that, what that means to you, Matt.
I mean, to me, results or excuses, to me, there's really no excuses. It's your life to live. It's super important to act. If you don't act on, you're not going to get results.
Yeah.
So
To me, it's one of the it's a form of negative self-talk, excuses. There's 3 C's of negative self-talk.
Preach. Let's hear it.
Yeah. Comparing, complaining, or criticizing. So I would call this on the complaining side of things.
Yeah.
And man, it's so crazy because it's so easy to blame other people sometimes, and it's harder to take ownership of your mistakes and learn from it and push forward, but you'll be so much better off in the future if you did that. And just as a parent, try to instill these lessons like in our kids who I feel like want to blame everything and everybody other than themselves if something doesn't go right. So it's been interesting to see that perspective because I just haven't thought that way in a long time. And I think that's part of our success here is because, F your excuses, right? Let's get something done.
Yeah.
So shout out to Arnold.
Yeah,
Mr.
thanks so much,
Olympia. Has the best man chest I've ever seen.
Favorite kindergarten cop. What a great
or Twins.
Twins, another good one.
Twins. Yeah.
Yeah, that's who this Super Bowl commercial was, I think, was Danny
it?
DeVito.
Yeah.
So.
Well, very cool. Well, guys, thanks for joining us today. We're live at 1:30 Central on all social media platforms on Wednesdays and Fridays. So this is our Wednesday show. Friday show we got coming up. I will be out of town. So Sam will be back. I will be out of town. It'll probably be Sam and Mr. Matt Sieb co-hosting that and bringing you guys tons of value. So thank you guys for joining us today, and we'll see you Friday at 1:30 Central. Everybody have a good day. Thanks for listening to today's episode. We hope you got some major value from our conversation. If you love what you learn, make sure you like, rate, review the show, and help us spread the word by telling a friend.
If you'd like to learn more about working with me inside one of my programs, we'll have those links in the show notes, along with all our social media handles, so you connect with us there for free. If there's a real estate question you'd like us to answer, feel free to send us a message and we'll cover it in an upcoming show.